Hello YouTube and dear learners. Hope this tutorial is helping you learn Tableau and I'm trying my level best to simplify Tableau for you. Well, in previous video we created individual views which helped us tackle a set of requirements. Now in this video we will be bringing all of them together and build an impressive dashboard out of it. So let's continue building our solution. So before moving towards building our dashboard, let's recap what we had done in our previous video. We started off with creating a view which talks about average scores year-wise. Here we created a donut chart which talks about average GRE, IELTS and TOEFL scores. And in second view, we created score-wise university status. So if you're selecting any university, you can see what are the GRE scores or any scores which you select, what are the minimum scores on which the people or the candidates have been admitted or rejected, who are the candidates, what were their GRE scores when they applied or interested. Thirdly, we created universities admitting for top scores. So the scores will be dynamically changing based on our change in parameter. We learn how we can create a calculated field, we learn how to create a parameter and then link it with a calculated field. In fourth section, we created two simple KPIs which talks about person admitted and person rejected, which is basically a calculation by a person admitted divided by total people and person rejected candidates out of total candidates. Then in sixth one, we just created a simple KPI so basically which talks about the undergrad score in person and CGPA, and it will change dynamically based on selection of your filters like university and status. So we are done with these six views. Now here we just created individual views. Now what if I want to create a dashboard out of it? For this, you need to click on this section like new dashboard. So there are three sections rather, which talks about new worksheets. These are the worksheets on which we created our views. I'll just quickly delete it. And here it prompts create new dashboard. Now dashboard is a space where you can bring all the views into one picture or in one dashboard. Unlike Power BI, in Power BI what we do, we build individual views on the dashboard itself. But in Tableau, initially we build views and then we integrate all the views into a dashboard. So here you can choose any size you want to keep dashboard. So let's say you have a requirement of, let's say, A4 document. You can click on fixed size and you can select on custom and you can select from various number of formats to display your dashboard. So let's say you had a A4 portrait requirement, you can just click on it and place all the views over here so that you can present it to your client in this way. So here what I'll do, I'll just change the width as per my requirements. So I'll quickly change my height and width as 1269 by 827. So this is what the format I usually use to display dashboards or in the tutorial. That's the reason I have kept this. Now let's start bringing each of our views into our dashboard. So starting with average scores year-wise. So I'll just randomly drag and drop all the views on the dashboard. So first I'll drag average scores and year-wise. Second we'll drag score-wise university status on the bottom. And third, I will drag my universities admitted for top scores besides my score-wise university status. Now I'll bring my KPIs on the right hand side. Let's keep it on the right hand side. That's first KPI. That's our second KPI. And that's our third KPI. Now here I'll just deselect all the filters which are currently on our dashboard because we will need to link one filter to all of our sheets. So I'll just cancel all of them. We'll put labels later part in our video. For now, I'll just cancel all of them. So we have successfully added all the views on our dashboard. Now let's focus on a very smaller parts like how can we make our view more interactive? How can we include our filters, make them interactive with all the sheets? What formatting or what cosmetic changes we can do to enhance the user experience and number of things. So let's move ahead. Now, when a new user comes to your dashboard, he will usually hover over the information. Let's say I want to see what is the work experience for this particular data point. So user can obviously see what is the work experience is around 3.6 years. What is my status as admin? What is select matrix? It's 319.50. But I'm not getting information that what is my metrics here. Is it a GRE score, IELTS score, or or TOEFL score? User is not able to decode that. Again, over here, if I'm hovering over here, like what is minimum donut is 1. Like these set of information is not useful for users, so it's better to remove or improvise, or we could improvise the way we are presenting this information. So how can we do this is the concept called as tooltips. So if you go on the individual sheets, and if you go on this tooltip over here, you can see there are a tooltips. I mean the data is getting floated over here. Now if I'm, let's say, reducing the spaces between the values, so for year is getting reflected. For minimum donuts, I think it's better if you remove this minimum donut, since it doesn't share any information as such. Also will remove this. I think we can keep a measure count, and also will define count. Instead of count of USA universities MS, we'll just replace it with count. That's it, and select OK. Now if I'm hovering over these charts, you can see year is 2014 and GRE score is 324.0. So this gives a better representation of our values. So if I'm hovering over here, year is 2014, while my average TOEFL score is 104.0. Now here as well, count is fine. Okay, now coming towards our second sheet. Now if I'm hovering over here, I'm getting work experience 1.4166, which is a huge decimal places. What if I want to reduce it to just 1 or 2 decimal places? So what you need to do is firstly bring my work experience in years in my tooltip option. Now in tooltip, what I will do is I'll format the tooltip. I'll reduce I'll go in pane. So basically axis stands for all the replacements or data manipulation in the axis. Well, if I'm clicking on pane, it will apply all the changes on my data graph or my graphs. So I'll change my numbers to number custom, and I'll reduce my decimal places to, let's say, 1 decimal place. I think that will be better. Now here, if a number is considerably huge, you can change the display limit as well, like thousands or millions, billions. Now let's say you want to input some prefix or suffixes in front of any number. You can simply do that by clicking on prefix or suffix. So let's say I want to input dollar in front of my value. So let's say I'm dealing with some currency data and I want to input dollar in front of it. I can just click on dollar. So you can see it gives a basic display of how my number would look like. So all the numbers will have a dollar as a prefix, and same goes for my suffix. So for now, I'll just keep my decimal places to 1. Now when I'm hovering over here, why the changes are not getting applied? Because it is using the previous tooltip, which we haven't changed yet. So for changing that, I'll click on tooltip. I'll replace the previous tooltip, which is work experience in year. I'll remove it, and I'll replace this with my new tooltip, which is a measure. How can I replace it? So you remember we had included this in our tooltip option. So automatically when you add any measure or any dimension in this tooltip option, it appears in this insert option. So if you're clicking on insert, you can see my attribute work experience in years has been, I think this is the one because it's a measure. If I'm clicking on this and click on OK, now if you hover over the information, it's still not applied. Wait a minute, let me see. Okay, I think this is the second one which we are trying to apply. Let's use this. Yeah, you can see my work experience is 5.0. Let's keep it bold. And instead of work experience in years, let's change the whole thing to status is fine. let's write a whole sentence. Work experience in years. Let's make it bold, and let's change this color to green to black. Now service metrics will be 313.33. Now how user will know, again the question which we repeated, like how users will be knowing that which value it is. Is it a GRE value or a TOEFL value or a IELTS value? So for that thing, you need to bring your service metrics or service parameter, because parameter is what you will change dynamically. So you need to bring your parameter in your tooltip, and in tooltip you can type as selected parameter, and in insert you can see my metrics will be there. You can see in parameter section, parameters.metrics, just click over here and you can just change the color of this as, let's say, dark blue, and make it bold. Click on OK. You can see selected parameter GRE is 312.00. Now you can present this in a more interactive manner, that selected parameter GRE is 312.00. Like put it in format of text that for parameters GRE the value is this. So you need to just replace those inserted options which we inserted over here, and you can dynamically change it the way you want. So that's it for the tooltips. I'll keep it on you to change. So let's move forward regarding filters. Now let's bring filters into our dashboard. If you remember, for average score year wise, we had added two of the most important filters like university and status. Now let's bring them into our dashboard so that user can select any filter as per their requirements. Now for that you need to click on this drop down and click on filters. So when you click on filters, you'll be getting all the list of filters which you had applied for that particular sheet. And filters, I'll click on university. Now by default, Tableau will give this in format of multi-list dropdown. Now you can change the format to single value dropdown. Since I just want to focus on a single university, I'll click on Arizona State University. Now in a second filter, I'll bring status as well. So I'll click on filter again and click on status. You can see my second filter has been there on my dashboard. I'll keep this as multi-value dropdown so that user can just toggle between. What if user wants to see only data for admitted and interested and not for all? So we can just keep it as multi-select dropdown. Now here, a most important thing, I'll click on I'll click on only relevant values for both the filters, and I'll explain how that helps. So when you enable only relevant values, so if I'm selecting Arizona State University, you can see all set of statuses like admit, applied, interested, and rejected. Now let's say if I'm selecting University of California, you can see in my status, I don't have admit, I just have applied, interested, or rejected. So what does it mean? So when I enable this relevant options, like only relevant values, it will filter out the values from other filters which are only relevant to a selected value in a first filter or another filters. So it just filters out relevant values for University of California in which we have just applied, interested, or rejected. Now let's say for example from status I just disable this only relevant values to all values in database. So over you can see admit as well, and if I'm clicking on admit, you can see all the data is blank over here. So it's always better to click on all only relevant values. Now if you observe, if I am changing it to all, it is getting only applied to this particular view, which is average scores year wise. Now if I want to apply this filter to all of these other views, so what I need to do is click over here, click on this drop down and apply to worksheets, and here you can select the selected worksheets option, and now here you can assign on which particular worksheets you need to apply this particular filter. So let's say I want to apply this to person admitted, person rejected, Score wise university status. So basically I want to apply this to all the other worksheets and click on OK. It will take some time. Now let's say if I'm selecting only applied, I want to see a status of only applied students. You can see this filter is getting applied to all the views, not just a single one. Isn't it amazing? So I'll quickly just bring all the other filters which we have applied, like let's say season, and also we'll bring our parameters. So over here, I think we have applied parameters over here. So let's bring parameter metrics. Metrics which talks about which scores we need to assign, like GRE, TOEFL or IELTS. So let's say I'm clicking on IELTS. Both of these sheets are changing based on this parameter selection. So I'll just click on all, and also I'll bring field filter as season. So toggle between actually fall and spring values. I don't think we have. Let's quickly add that filter as well over here. So I'll bring season in my filter, click on all and click on OK, and click on dashboard. Now let's bring season as well. Click on single value drop down and apply this to all the other worksheets. Click on OK. Now considering we are done with the tooltips and bringing all the filters and linking all the filters to our dashboard, now let's do some cosmetic changes, like let's bring our legends in picture. Now I have color legends over here, like which color denotes which values, like a darker shade of blue represents average GRE score and a lighter shade represent average IELTS score. So what I'll do, I'll just remove this title and bring these legends in a one single row. You can click on single row, and let's bring these legends below this particular graph, so it will be easy for user to understand what does these legend means. Now I'll bring a blank space over here so that I can push my legends on the middle, and let's increase the size or the distance between those those legends. Now considering few cosmetic changes, what I'll do, I'll change the title size and title color. Now in order to change the title font and color, you need to just right click over this and click on format title, and on the left hand side you can see shading and border. You can put a border on your title and number of things. Now here I'll change my shading to, let's say, dark blue, and now in order to format my font, you need to double click on this title, and here I'll bring my title on center, select the whole thing and click on white color so that it will be better to visualize, and click on bold and apply. So I'll make the changes, similar changes for both of these graphs, and let's bring percent rejected and percent admitted, and also this KPI on one side of the sheet so that we can visualize the graphs better. So this is what our dashboard looks like after changing the formatting. I've brought my KPIs on the right hand side and put my filters below. You can change the filters location as per your convenience and your requirements. You can also put 4 of these filters on the top ribbon over on top of average scores year wise. Now another thing, I want to, let's say, if I'm changing the metrics from GRE to TOEFL and the values are changing, but now I want to view these metrics in my title as well. So I want to view my title as score wise university status. Instead of score wise university status, I want to view GRE score wise university status, and this value shall be dynamically changing based on change in my parameter. How can I do that? So for that, I'll click on this title, I'll double click on the text, and before that I have the sheet name, which is my text, which is score wise university status. I'll insert this and I'll insert my parameter metrics, and I'll put space in between and click on apply. Click on OK. Now you can see I've selected TOEFL, and this TOEFL has been updated here. So TOEFL score wise university status, if I'm selecting GRE, so it will update likewise, like GRE score wise university status. I can do this for here as well, based on top scores, KPI metrics, click on apply, GRE. I'll reduce the size a little bit from 15 to let's say 12 or something. This looks much more better. Now if you see this visual from a third eye perspective, you can observe that these donut charts doesn't look great. I mean, these are consuming a lot of space. So it will be better to reduce the size of these donut charts. So I'll quickly go on to my sheet. I'll first reduce the size of my first pie chart, and then I'll reduce the size of my second pie chart, which is on the second level or the second layer. I think this will be better. Now here also I'll reduce the size of these shapes a little bit. Now you can see I have a lot of sheets available here. So basically whatever sheets we have created are there on our below pane. So I'll quickly hide all of them so that I can only view my dashboard. Now whenever I want to access a particular sheet, I can just click on this particular sheet. You can see on the left hand side my average scores year wise has been appeared, and I'll quickly click on this go to sheet and I will be able to access this. And again when I'm coming on dashboard, this sheet will be hidden. Now I'll quickly put the borders around all of my filters and my sheets. So this is what our dashboard looks like after few modifications and customizations. I tried to segregate my KPIs and my filters. Like I separated KPIs on top right corner of the screen and kept my filters and parameters on bottom right corner of my screen. Now I'll quickly enable my title. Oh, and by the way, so I have changed my color in my filters and parameter by right clicking on these and clicking on format filters and settings. Here I've changed color as per your requirements. So selected dark blue color. And now I'll enable my title. So for enabling title, I'll quickly go to my dashboard, click on show title, and my dashboard title will be appeared. And I'll quickly change my title to, let's say, USA, and let's change the font to 15, make it bold and take color as white. Right click again and click on format title. Now you can change the shading. I'll give shade as the same color which I've kept for my views. Now let's say you want to change the color of your whole dashboard. So firstly you need to click on any white space and select the whole dashboard, as I've selected the whole rectangle over here. Now click on layout and click on background. Now I'll select a very light shade of blue, and you can see the whole dashboard color has been changed. Let's see in how does it look like in presentation mode. That looks great. Now let's say you want to insert images in your dashboard. So let's say you're working for any client and you want to add some brandings or anything. How can you add images? Is you can click on dashboard. Now once you click on dashboard, you need to click on floating in objects, and you need to pull that image floating object onto your screen. Now here it enables you to choose any image. You can directly take it from Google, you can insert a URL link, or you can directly select from your local desktop. So I'll select this Masters in USA image and click on center image so that it fits your image and it brings on center. Click on apply. Now you can see my image has been imported on my dashboard. I'll change my dimensions manually. By the way, you can change your dimensions directly by going to layout and changing X and Y positions, width and height. And now I'll drag my image on right bottom of my screen. I'll just change the layout a little bit, and you can see my image has been imported. So this is how our dashboard looks like after a little bit of customization. I just changed the colors in this GRE score wise university status, and also reduced the size of these labels in my university admitting for top GRE scores. Also added a image of USA star or flag, and here I added few grid lines. So how can you add grid lines? You just need to right click over here, click on format, and in this grid line section or line section, you can click on column, and you can see my grid lines are enabled now. And also I changed the formatting. I bought my university filter on top, and that's it. So that's all for this tutorial. We started with building individual views considering user requirements, optimized those, brought all of them into building a dashboard, and finally considering cosmetic changes and how we can enhance user experience. So that's it for this beginner level dashboard tutorial, and I hope this added some value to your Tableau learning journey. Please do subscribe my channel and give a thumbs up. On this note, stay tuned for more such videos, and thank you so much for watching.